Hi, I'm Bethany Miller, and this is the first of many video diaries in which we will introduce all the members of the course one by one, and you'll get to hear from each of us a bit about us and a bit about this project and how we fit in. We are about to make a film, a full-length feature. It's sort of a story about not being afraid to have a dream and to see it through. The aim of this scheme is to create a film that will be of interest to young people, interest to anyone, but especially young people. We want to introduce New Zealand history to the younger generations. It's quite an exciting thing for us to explore and for us to delve into and understand. And that's where we see some of the worth of this project. The fact that we're mostly young people putting on this project means that we hope to create a film that will appeal to our peers. I am the production manager of this film course. I've never been a production manager before. The most I've done sometimes take minutes during sort of theatre crew meetings. So I'm often seen as the unorganised one, so it's a great challenge for me. I've just started getting into film stuff this year. I've got a huge background in theatre, so I've started getting more into the film side of things. So I'm looking forward to learning about the whole side of things, including all the production aspects. I've been performing basically my whole life, I guess. Singing and musical theatre and speech and drama and all those sorts of things. When I was year 10, I sort of discovered theatre as a thing that didn't have to be tied to music, and you could do plays and not just little skits but full-on plays, and that's when I started getting into plays at Griffin Theatre. So I did one with Backyard Productions, and the following year after that I did Anne Frank. And that was an amazing experience. I did Young and Hungry, and I did some of Shakespeare, and I did a theatre degree. When I got to university, I did singing performance, but then I also did, after a year, I started doing a theatre degree alongside that, and got to do lots of performance and also got the production side. And that's what I'm going to be getting in this course, a nice well-rounded introduction to film. I have never done a production manager role before, but what I see it entailing is basically all the organisational aspects. So organising people, scheduling meetings, places for meetings, budgeting, applying for grants or being a huge kind of force in that, making sure sort of coming alongside the project and being this sort of driving force from start to finish, seeing it through, making sure it all happens. I've literally finished my degree on Friday, and it was a pretty crazy race to finish. I'm looking forward to just going nuts and getting stuck into lots of creative projects, all the things that I've wanted to do but haven't had time to do. I've already got a few things in the pipeline, film-wise and theatre-wise. And obviously this project itself is one of those things. So I'll get myself into an agency for voice acting and for acting, so hopefully I'll be able to do stuff through that as well. I'm going to be away for 3 months, which makes the production manager thing a bit tricky. I am in a couple of choirs, and one of them is New Zealand Youth Choir, and we're going overseas to Europe doing a landmark tour, so that's pretty incredible, pretty exciting. So a week from now I will have already done my first concert in Singapore. Then we'll be heading shortly to the Czech Republic for a festival. So Singapore, Czech Republic, France and England. And then after the month of touring, I'm going to see family and friends in England and Germany. There's quite a few different companies in this sort of string of film people. One of them is Capital Video Productions, so that's a GSD registered company that we're going to be doing our Films for Want ad through, but we've also got another one called Movie Fest Trust. That's a charitable trust. That's the one that we're doing this film course through. we're going to form a partnership between Wanted and our own film company. We're going to make some films for them, and in return we're going to get some advertising, and we're going to advertise our own film service. Wanted is an advertising app which goes on your screen wallpaper. So the fact that it's in your wallpaper, not a lock screen, makes it less obtrusive and annoying than the lock screened apps. It's something that I've been helping to promote as a job of mine. On top of those companies, we're actually looking at creating another company, because Capital Video Productions already existed, but what we're thinking about doing, if everyone is keen, and it sounds like people are quite keen so far, is setting up another company just for us, for the new people who have come on board for this film course, setting up a company for us, a brand new company to make these films with, and that will hopefully bring a great fresh start. We'll have a new name, we'll create a new logo, a new image, and that's pretty exciting. We're looking at a 2 or even 3 film series, and the next film will be The Valley of Dreams, and that's where things get really interesting, because it's actually a sort of precursor to this film, because The Valley of Dreams will be about the bridge to nowhere, which you may have heard of. It's along the Wanganui River. Beyond the bridge to nowhere are all these failed farming settlements that were sort of tricky to farm and didn't get any money, and it didn't work out, and it was sort of a government failed project, and it was around the First World War, which makes it quite poignant during this 6-year centennial period of the First World War. So we'll obviously still be in that centennial period next year, or the year after that, whenever we end up starting to make this film, The Valley of Dreams. It'll just be basically telling that story, and also looking at Dan Steele, who does farm there or nearby.
And Dan is passionately restoring and maintaining many of their original buildings.
Half a dozen or 10 of the original buildings still here.
Many as that?
Yeah. Yeah, going right back to schools and post offices and depots and
Yeah, that's
fans'
right.
bodies, magazines.
Yeah.
2 of the original homesteads, built over 100 years ago, both still here. So, put it all together, and it's quite a story of New Zealand's pioneering history, really.
Both of these stories, The Mad Young Bastard and The Valley of Dreams, will have a group of young people who end up sort of going into the past and seeing these stories firsthand. And there'll be parallels between present and past, and that brings some quite exciting prospects.